Hello everybody, welcome again to our channel. Now before I get into today's video, there are very important questions that I would like us to ask ourselves. For example, is Tanzania entering a new era right now? Is this East African country making yet another move? Because to be honest, what is happening in Zanzibar is not just a mere thing you will easily find elsewhere. It is something that has never been tested before. It is something that has never been tried before. And look guys, I want you to get me right. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Yes, I know we have electric buses elsewhere. I know we have electric buses in Nairobi, Kenya. I know we have electric buses in Ethiopia. I know we have electric buses in mainland Tanzania. I know we have electric buses in Uganda and maybe elsewhere as well. But what makes the case of Zanzibar to be really special is the fact that the whole public transport system is going electric. Yes, the ones in Nairobi are electric, but it is not the entire public transport system. If you go to Ethiopia, you will find electric buses, but not the whole public transport system is electric. And what is making it even more interesting is that it is not only about being electric. This system in Zanzibar is going to be powered entirely using solar energy. So they want to preserve the environment, they want to conserve the environment. So at the same time they are modernizing the public transport system, but at the same time they are also conserving the environment. So in this video, I want to give a deep review of the Zanzibar electric bus public transport system. And I will start with the general project overview. So this is just the way I have said it's going to be the first electric public transport system in Zanzibar and probably in East Africa and even on the entire African continent. Don't get me right, just the way I've said, Zanzibar's case is special because the whole system is going electrical. Then the project is divided into 3 phases, and I think this is another thing that Tanzania is doing in a wonderful way, and it is something I talked about in my other video about Tanzania. They like dividing their projects. If a project is too big, then they always divide them into smaller phases so that they can be easily managed and increase the chances of success. So that is the same thing they are doing in this case. The project is divided into 3 phases, with the current one being phase 1, and it is targeting the Western Urban District of Zanzibar. Western Urban District of Zanzibar, which is popularly known in Swahili as the Mjini Magharibi region. Now the main goal of this project is to transition from the usual noisy daladalas to a more silent and environmentally friendly alternative. And that is why they are going for the electric buses. Then the next thing, it is important that the execution of this particular project, the execution of the Zanzibar electric bus public transport system, officially kicked off in January of 2026. and the rollout is expected in late February 2026, which means just in the next few days these buses will be on the road in Zanzibar. Then the project is targeting at least 10,000 passengers per day. 10,000 passengers per day to be served for phase 1 alone. 10,000 passengers per day. That is a big number. That is a lot of people that will be moving using these buses just on a single day. And the project is being implemented by 3 main partners. We have 3 main partners involved in the implementation of this particular project. So the 3 main partners, the first one and the main partner in this case, which is also the investor, is none other than the Zanzibar Social Security Fund. So the main investor in this project is the government of Zanzibar, and they are doing it through the Zanzibar Social Security Fund, usually shortened as the ZSSF. So this is another clever way in which the Tanzanian government is using to execute their projects. They are always minimizing borrowing. They always minimize borrowing. They don't always like to rely on external funding unless it is very, very necessary. So even in this case, even in this Zanzibar's project, you can clearly see that the funds are coming from the government itself. That is through the Zanzibar Social Security Fund. And that is a very, very smart way of funding mega projects, and I think other African countries should copy that. Now, apart from the Zanzibar Social Security Fund, we also have the GRT Limited, and the role of the GRT Limited in this case as a private partner is to procure and supply the buses and all the associated systems. So GRT Limited I don't want to use the word will, because this is already happening. The implementation had already begun in January with the delivery of 10 buses. So I don't want to use will, but I want to use is, because it is currently happening. So GRT Limited is supplying the buses and all the associated systems. Then they are also performing the implementation, the actual implementation, which includes things like infrastructure integration. They are also dealing with the fleet deployment and coordination. And I want you people to get me right in this case. GRT Limited is not responsible for the daily operations, but just ensuring that the needed infrastructure is in place and is working properly as expected. For the daily operations, we have the third stakeholder or the third partner, and the third partner in this case is the Unitran's transport company. So Unitran's transport company is going to be responsible for things like fleet operations. They are the ones who will be designing and managing the schedules. They can decide that we want maybe 20 trips per day, we want 15 trips per day, we want 30 trips per day. How many buses are going to be available on this route? How many will be available on that other route? So that is going to be the role of the Unitran's transport company. Then Unitrans will also hire, sorry I'm forgetting and keeping using the word will, yet this thing is already happening. So Unitrans is hiring drivers and other staff, and they are also training whenever necessary. Remember, there are going to be many people involved in this particular project. Then Unitrans will also be taking care of the maintenance work, that is on battery charging infrastructure, the buses, and so much more. So generally, Unitrans was chosen for the operations phase because of their regional experience in running various logistical projects elsewhere as well. Sorry for that. Now, it is very clear, it is coming out clearly that Unitrans was picked to ensure that this project is implemented successfully, to ensure that the operations are successful and sustainable. So that is all about the project overview. Now the next segment, I want to talk about the technical specifications. And under technical specifications, we will be discussing the buses in details. We will be discussing the support infrastructure in detail, the bus shelters, the bus terminals, and so much more. We will also be talking about the routes and logistics, among many other things. So before we get into the technical specifications of this project, if you are watching my channel for the first time, then please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. And also, if you like watching similar videos about Tanzania, if you'd like to watch other videos like this one about Tanzania, then don't hesitate to go to the descriptions box to follow a link that will lead you to a whole playlist of my Tanzanian videos. You will be able to watch all the videos I have ever made about Tanzania. And very, very importantly, don't forget to support this video by giving it a like, because that is the best way of letting YouTube know that it is a good video, so that it can continue suggesting it to many and many viewers. Now let's get started. So in this segment, I want to take you through the technical specifications of the Zanzibar Electric Bus Public Transport System, and the first item I'm going to be talking about are the buses. And the first thing I want to tell you about the buses is their capacity. The buses are available in 50 to 70 capacity, meaning the smallest size carries 50 passengers, while the largest size carries 70 passengers. And this includes both the standing and seated passengers. So this is a clear indication. The moment we see a varying number of passengers, a varying capacity, it is a clear indication that these buses are going to be available in various sizes. There are those ones that are going to be relatively bigger, while others are going to be relatively smaller. Very, very important to note. Then the next thing about the buses are their smart onboard features. These buses are fitted with a wide range of smart onboard features. And if you remember what I said that they are very high-tech electric buses. They are not your usual electric buses, the ones you may have seen elsewhere. They are extremely high-tech, and some of the features that passengers will enjoy on board is free Wi-Fi, so people will be able to move around the island and around the Stone Town city, while also connecting to the internet easily and more efficiently. Then the buses are also fitted with air conditioning, and air conditioning is very important in any hot environment like Zanzibar. Zanzibar is very hot because it is adjacent to a large water body. That is something that is very common in any place that is adjacent to a large water body like Zanzibar. So the buses are fitted with air conditioning, and very importantly, these buses are going to be tap and go, meaning that there is going to be a digital payment system. You will not have to deal with the cash. You will not have to be over exploited by the daladalas, because you will be paying as you will be tapping as you go. The system will be doing the deduction, and that is one of the advantages of a digital payment system. And most importantly, these buses are fitted with GPS tracking systems, which is accessible even to the passengers from a mobile app. For security reasons, the buses have a GPS tracking system that is accessible even to the passengers uh, from a very user-friendly mobile application. And of course, even the management side will be able to track these buses in real time, and that is going to be a very big boost in terms of security. Then the next thing I want to talk about is the frequency of the buses. And when I talk about frequency, I'm referring to the duration it will take for a bus, a duration it will take for the next bus to arrive at a given station. So we have got two various types of frequency. We have 20 minutes, and the 20 minutes is during off-peak hours. So during the off-peak hours, we are going to have a bus every 20 minutes. There will be a bus entering and leaving the station every 20 minutes during the off-peak hours. And the reason why it has been designed that way is because of relatively lower demand during the off-peak hours. And during the peak hours, where the demand is highest, the frequency is going to be every 15 minutes. So during every 15 minutes, we are going to be having a bus arriving at a given station or leaving a station. And very, very importantly, still about the buses, is their range. So the buses have a 100 kilometers range on full charge, meaning that if a bus is charged fully, it can cover a distance of 100 kilometers before ever needing to recharge again. So that is all about the technical specifications of the buses. And if you do remember, the buses are just the first item under the technical specifications. Now the second item in this segment, I want us to move to the support infrastructure, the available infrastructure that is going to ensure that all the other components of this system work successfully. So the first item I will talk about under the support infrastructure is the main hub. So the main hub is located at the Kijangwani Bus Terminal, which has got various charging depots. Then this project is going to be just an electric public transport. It's just an upgrade from the private daladalas, from the private diesel-powered daladalas to high-tech electric buses. So right now, according to the available information, there are no dedicated BRT lanes. There are no dedicated BRT lanes, which is a clear indication that this is not a BRT, but just an upgrade from the conventional diesel-powered daladalas to more efficient and more environmental friendly electric buses. So it is not a BRT like the one in Dar es Salaam, but just an electric public transport system. Then it's going to use the existing roads, and that is making a lot of sense because we've said there are no dedicated bus lanes, so it's not a BRT. It's going to use the existing roads in Zanzibar. Then very, very importantly, in the introduction, I hope you remember, I mentioned that this project is going to be powered purely by solar energy. It's going to be a green energy project, and that is why we have over 150 solar-powered bus shelters across the island of Zanzibar, and the power is going to come from a 10 megawatt solar power plant. There is a 10 megawatt solar power plant that is going to be powering the whole project. Now the third item under technical specifications. So we've talked about the technical specifications of the bus. We have talked about the support infrastructure. So now the third item I'm going to talk about under technical review of this project that is changing Zanzibar by a lot is the routes and logistics. So under routes and logistics, I want to talk about some few important points that are important. Yes, I'm not going to cover everything in this particular video. There is going to be part 2 that I'm going to release soon. There is part 2 of the video that is going to cover the economic benefits, the social and economic benefits of this particular project to the people of Zanzibar and maybe Tanzania as a whole. Yeah, so the two major routes. This phase 1 of the project covers two major routes. And the first route, we have the Abeid Amani Karume International Airport to Malindi Port. So I was actually very surprised to know that the other name of Malindi Port is the Port of Zanzibar. I was not aware of that. I had to do some research in order to find out. Yeah, so the first route is from the Abeid Amani Karume International Airport to the Malindi Port on the Indian Ocean. So this route starts from the airport, then goes through the Kijangwani Bus Terminal, and finally to the Malindi Port. Then route 2 is the longest. So route 2 is targeting the general population, and it is starting at the Buyu. It is starting from Buyu, which is a highly densely populated residential area, to Chukwani, and then from Chukwani to Mnazi Mmoja, and there are going to be some spots near Stone Town for tourism purposes, and also to enable people to access the city center. And then from Mnazi Mmoja, it will proceed through the Kijangwani terminal and finally to Malindi. Yeah, so you can now clearly see that the end point of the two routes is Malindi Port, but all of them have been designed to at least pass through the Kijangwani Bus Terminal. And the reason why they have decided to make it that way is because the Kijangwani Bus Terminal is the main hub of this particular project. Now, don't forget to watch part 2 of this review. Don't forget to watch part 2 of this video. This is just part 1. So in part 2, I will be explaining the social and economic benefits of this particular project. I will be explaining the social and economic benefits of the Zanzibar electric bus public transport system to the people of Zanzibar, as well as the entire Tanzanian nation at large. Now, in case you'd like to watch more videos about Tanzania, if you'd like to watch similar videos about Tanzania, then check for the link to the playlist in the description box below. Now this marks the end of this video. Now in case you still haven't subscribed, don't forget to do so, and also don't forget to give this video a like. Bye for now, and see you again in the next video.